Welcome back to Talking Shit, where we are talking all sorts of shit about baby showers. That's right, it's Schitt's Creek. We're talking about season 4, episode 10, Baby Sprinkle. And of course, as always, I'm joined by someone who definitely knows how to pronounce Albany. Stuart! Stuart, how are you?
Albany.
Yes, thank you.
Albany. Is that
Yep.
not right?
Nope. Claire repeatedly says Albany all episode long and made me lose my mind. So
Fair. I never know with some of the American pronunciations of states and things. It's like you get on to us about pronouncing things wrong, and I'm just like, we invented the language, so I just
stop
want
it.
to be like, how dare
To
you?
be fair, upstate pronunciations of towns is ridiculous and never makes any sense, but Albany is very easy and it is the capital, Claire. So, moving on from that, of course, don't forget to subscribe to us everywhere, talking shit. Follow us along on YouTube, where we are slowly but surely getting our way up to 200 subscribers, where we will do something exciting. Definitely not waterboarding, but something. And today I'm sure we're gonna have so many rants about baby showers, sprinkles, all this, that, and the other. There's a lot to get into here. Stuart, should I bring us right into the episode recap?
I feel like we need to forge ahead. We need to get over it, and we need to like get into
Yeah,
the juice of it,
because we're
right?
gonna have so many side tangents, I can already sense it. So
Yeah.
we need to recap first. David Rose said it best when he said, "That is the stupidest effing thing I've ever heard." Jocelyn cons David into throwing her a baby sprinkle when her sister can't make it. Oh, and by the way, it's the day of the party. Oh, and they have no decor or anything. David, being David, wants to serve soft cheeses and alcohol, but Patrick has seemingly been to a sprinkle or two and advises David that pregnant people can't consume those things. All's well that ends well as Jocelyn gets mince lobbed at her face at her party, and everyone seems to have a great time. So great job, David. Um, Meanwhile, Alexis is hard at work planning singles week when she runs into an old frenemy, who
Friend.
knows?
Yeah.
Claire, spelled with a K. I just feel the need to point that out. Claire, spelled with a K, is probably a glimpse into who Alexis used to be, and she is the absolute worst, especially because she doesn't know how to pronounce Albany. Claire, with a K, offers Alexis a job, but Alexis realizes she's better off staying in Schitt's Creek and running her new business. Moira and Johnny visit Madly, which stands for Mature Adults Dating Lovers Yes.
Yes.
for, for
Can't.
research purposes, but the lead intimacy facilitator, almost died just saying that, forces them to play a matchmaking lock and key game. Moira has no fun as her match seems like a real dud. We knew nothing could jeopardize Moira and Johnny's relationship though, so we weren't even worried. Well, that's enough of that. Let's shower this episode with some praise, Stuart.
I love that you say that we weren't worried. When Mr. Renee turned up, I was like, oh, I'm now worried because
Because he can
that
drive at
silver
night.
fox, he could drive at night. He was a silver fox, and Moira was smitten.
Little smitten
Yeah.
kitten over there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start by talking about Johnny and Moira and their little adventure over at Madly. The acronym Madly really did crack me up. Like, you couldn't come up with anything better than mature adults dating lovers. Yes, it
Yes.
makes no sense. It's just a bunch of you're just hodgepodging words together.
You get loads of businesses that do this, right? Like people that come up with an acronym that kind of fits for it, and then they come up
Yeah.
with what it stands for after the fact. It's absurd. The fact that it's just like the yes at the end just makes it unreal. But this, what was her job title? Intimacy
Lead
coordinator,
intimacy facilitator.
facilitator. Just what this episode is full of people with lofty job titles. Like Claire was just like CEO and influencer, right? And then you've got intimacy facilitate. No, just no, just
Yeah.
don't. What is this business as well? Like,
Yep.
are these dating companies still a thing? Like, I thought they had kind of been phased out by now, in that, like, basically all the apps are taken over and online dating, and, like, Schitt's Creek is not that old. So
Yeah.
why are there still companies matching these people up? Is it because it's only for, like, mature people that just don't do apps? Is that what it is?
I think the idea is that they're in a small town. There's like, people of an older persuasion who want to be able to meet other people of an older persuasion. And yeah, I think they're not using apps and stuff. So this is a way, but I just feel like in my heart of hearts that the people that attend these Madly events, it's just the same group of people over and over again. Like when Johnny's match was Charlene or whatever her name was, when she is like shwasted, I feel like the lead intimacy facilitator lady, she's like, again, Charlene. Like it gives big
Mhm.
vibes of like, we've been here before. Renee, can you still drive at night? Okay. Like it feels like we're getting the same people. So when she does meet Moira and Johnny, she's like, oh, fresh meat, new blood.
Yeah.
Like she really wants them to play this game.
I can pair off the duds. I can get rid of what's his face who can't drive at night and is useless and is
Yeah.
clearly the worst person there. I can like
Oh, get
fob
rid
him
of the
off with
creeper
Moira.
who says, "Oh, my late wife said I'd meet someone who looks exactly like you."
Do
Sicko.
you think does he use that line on everyone? Does he say it to
Yes!
like to
Yes,
change
of
every time?
course he does. Like, this is
Wow.
unhinged. If I'm his late wife, I'm haunting his ass immediately. Like, I don't know if ghosts are real, but if they are, that's what I'd be spending my time doing. Like, you're a little bit of a monster. Like, don't use me to get with new women. I'm not saying you can't get with women eventually, but, like, you're gonna use me as a prop in your weird little games? Absolutely not.
I mean, you're such a skeptic, Jess. Who's to say that she didn't say something very specific about shoulder length blonde hair and red lipstick?
I
Why are you
just
doubting this
I could
poor
never.
gentleman?
I just can't imagine because I'm trying to picture this in my own life, right? Like my husband going up to someone and being like, "My late wife said this." I would immediately be like, "Absolutely not, I didn't. Like, how dare you? I want you to
Yeah,
find love, but I don't have a specific idea in mind, you weirdo."
you just say, "Yeah, you'll find love," with the complete opposite of what you know his type is, just so he'll never find anyone else.
Someone who is blonde and very short and so quiet. Just the quietest
Yeah.
person you've ever
Just totally not opinionated on
hates
anything.
hates television, loves
Mhm.
hiking, hates coffee,
Hates Succession.
hates Succession, and is a cat person. That it would be lovely. It would be perfect. But I did love again, this kind of reaffirms. I like that we started out with Moira saying like, "Oh, Johnny, are you nervous that I could meet someone?" And then her immediately getting very jealous when you have Charlene or again, I don't know if that's her name, but I'm going to call her Charlene, getting pissed drunk and being like, "Maybe I'll stay over at your motel."
The laugh as well. Jeez, just I kind of I hate it if you're the one experiencing like the laugh when you're the one in conversation with them. But I always love it if you're in a room with people and you hear one of those like really distinctive like attention pulling laughs, because I just kind of look
Mhm.
over and go, I'm glad I'm not with them because I don't have to deal with it. But
Yeah.
I Johnny, if I was in Johnny's situation, I would just be cringing so much because he was I don't think he swayed once.
No.
He was totally focused. Like he even said to Mike, he was like, "I know who I'm going home with at the end of the night," kind of thing. Like I didn't need
Yeah.
to worry about anything. So Johnny is a great guy for this
Oh,
scenario,
he's a
and
good
he's a great
egg.
yeah, and he's a really funny thing to like play off of Johnny just being the kind of serious one to just stand there and go, all right, I'm gonna listen and go along with this kind of thing. It's just his typical shtick, right?
Yeah, and it is kind of difficult because at the moment that she's, like, being a lot and, is laughing hysterically at him, he's kind of literally chained to her in a way because their lock and key are, like, connected, so you can't get away smoothly. You can't make a gracious exit in that precarious situation, so I feel for Johnny. Um, yeah, this lead intimacy facilitator woman can honestly get the hell out of here because she sees Moira trying to like fake laugh and approach them, and she's like, maybe you should try to find your own match. And it's like, woman, I am married and that is my husband. Like, how about you back up? Like,
I mean,
truly.
fair play. I mean, in her defense, she's trying to do a job, and
Then
based
don't
on
invite a
her,
married couple into your game.
I, they invited themselves. They're there to audit them,
They're
which
observing. They didn't want to
exactly.
necessarily put,
No
put
one
claw.
wants no, Moira referred to them as auditors, so, like, no one likes an auditor. I don't
It's so
care,
true.
like, even auditors who are listening to this are going, "Yeah, I know, we're universally disliked
It's like the
because."
DMV or the IRS. Like everyone
Yeah,
feels the exact same way. Yeah.
you don't want someone pointing out that you're not doing your job properly, and that's entirely what auditors are there for to do. So, like, of course, I think she's probably got, like, a stick up her butt about that, but also, what if it was correct? Like, what if beyond the mundanity and the kind of referring to his dead ex-wife, what if it could have worked? What if they're meant to be
No.
and we just ignored the signs?
No. That
It's
man was
outrageous.
not dressed snazzy enough for Moira's tastes. Like absolutely not. That man does not
He's
wake up and put on a nice suit every morning the way Johnny does.
because Johnny was trained by Moira. I think Moira possibly could have needed another project. Maybe there is future projects in the works. Maybe Johnny 2.0. He could have been something, and we were denied. I'm talking absolute garbage. I do
How
not want
dare
that to
you?
happen at all in the slightest. But I kind of
Yeah.
like the idea of just entertaining with the fact that maybe there's some science behind it. Who
No,
knows?
there's absolutely no science behind it.
Okay.
Um, let's talk about Alexis and her new job opportunity and a blast from the past in Claire, who is just the worst. I want a hot drink, a hot water, but let it cool off. I just need to know that it once was warm.
I mean, is it possible to really hate someone but kind of like them at the same time? Because, like, as a third party that knows that this is a fictional character, I kind of lived for Claire a little bit. She was fucking hilarious. The
It's
whole, "Oh, yeah, can you
horrible.
get a load of me?" Like, oh, I'm a lot, aren't I? Like, the self-awareness of being
Yeah. Ugh,
as
I'm the
much of an
worst.
arsehole as she was, yeah, just
You
so fun.
are. You are the worst.
She
And the entire
absolutely
time,
is.
her being like, "Ugh, I can't wait to fire Albany, and she's my best friend. Ugh."
Well, that's the thing. No, the worst thing about that whole situation is she goes, "I'm her best friend." Like, it was that
Yeah,
kind of, like,
you're a
clingy on kind of
monster.
situation. I was I'm joking completely, but, like, I kinda did live until the point in which she gaslit Twyla and was just like, "I didn't order that. Like, what are you
Yeah,
talking
no,
about?"
how
I was
dare
like,
you?
"No, no, 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 no. It
When
was
the
funny up until
what
you
is
hurt someone that I love.
what does she
Go
say?
away."
She's like, "Oh, you're just like a small town waitress," and then she goes, "Merp," or like, what so weird,
Yeah.
like, "Get out of here, Claire," with a K. Like, you don't belong here. And
Mhm.
Alexis, like, takes this job seriously because she says, like, "Oh, it's with a PR company, and, oh, we can get you out of this town, like, very easily. You'll go live with in my dad's house." I don't even know what he's doing. He might have started a new family, but and, like, I'm so proud of Alexis in this episode for
Mhm.
recognizing that Claire is just completely full of shit, and also that, like, she does seemingly have an emotional tie now to Schitt's Creek when
Yeah.
she's, like, looking at the motel rooms and gets her business cards in the mail. Like, you can tell that she feels proud of what she's accomplished here, and I think she's finally starting to see, like, maybe my life before this wasn't so great. Like, maybe it wasn't as good as I'm remembering it was.
Yeah. We talked a lot about Alexis having growth episodes and having, like, real profound moments of reflecting on who she was, where she is now. Um, Especially what with, like, the jobs, the education and everything. But this was like a real, I think, moment for her to pull back and assess, like, her enjoyment of life and, like, what it is that she gets value out of. And I think she came to realize that the vapidity, the kind of, like, this the hollowness of just that lifestyle of money in excess and not treating anyone with any value, treating people as commodities, like with poor Albany and or Am I pronouncing that right? I'm so paranoid now that I'm saying it
You're
wrong.
saying it
I'm
correctly. She keeps saying
Albany.
Albany, and I
That's the
want
way.
to, as someone who lives 20 minutes from Albany, I wanna freaking die every time she says Albany. Ma'am, stop that. She's
But like
already the worst, so I'm allowed to pile on.
oh yeah, fair play. But like I think the fact that like Alexa sees that and just goes, "No, I don't value that anymore," and she looks around the motel and sees that, like, yeah, it's not nice, it's not pleasant. The motel hasn't improved in quality since she's got there, but she's
Mhm,
formed memories there, and she's formed really kind of substantial bonds with the place because it's a place that's been the venue of her having this kind of emotional growth and belief in herself to the point where she can get herself her own education. She can set up a business, which it's not to the point where it's thriving, but it's getting off on a good start.
yeah.
And the fact that, like, oh, even the comparison of the business cards was just so funny because obviously you get Claire's one, which is stupid and absurd, and then you
CEO,
get
founder,
Alexis.
influencer. It just
Yeah.
says Claire with a with a K,
Oh,
that's it,
of
one
what?
name. Like she's freaking
Exactly.
Beyonce or Cher or something. Get out of here, Claire with a K.
It's
Stop it.
absurd. And then she
Just think
gets her
about
own
this, if
business cards.
we're gonna talk about, like, baby showers and having babies, like, soon enough, but please, people, think about this when you're naming your child. Like, stop trying to be quirky and fun and different. Stop it. Just spell her name like a normal human being would spell Claire. Okay, that's the end of my rant on
Wow.
Claire. I don't care. This
Here
is not
here
even a spicy take at all.
here they are just trying to get their kids unique social media handles, and you're there just trampling on their dreams, Jess, just because they wanna have something unique.
Mhm.
No, it's like I love this whole scene with Alexis. It's so lovely to get her like to have this kind of real moment. And I love the fact that like Annie Murphy's acting in this is just really nice and subtle because like the moment that
Mhm.
Claire turns up, she's immediately fidgeting with her hands and is totally self-conscious in that moment. And
"Hey,
she kind of
babe.
falls
Hey,
yeah.
babe."
Yeah, and they fall back into that same kind of like scripted expectation of just like, oh, okay, let's talk like Paris Hilton in the Simple Life kind of situation. No, it's not her. It's not real. And yet she recognizes that. And by the end is like, yeah, I'm going to stick around. I'm not going to take it. Like, I got some things that's going on here. It's like, yes, Alexis.
Yeah. Yeah. Alexis, no, I just, again, and she looks incredible. Like, I really can't, when they do Alexis's hair in the way that it is styled when she goes to the bar, I just love it so much. Like, she looks so beautiful. I love her hair in the scene where she's with Twyla. And speaking of, I did want to note, I feel like there's an importance to her and Twyla collaborating on this singles week at the
Hmm.
cafe and like nailing down a like, oh, it's a 2 for 1, like if you're singles and you dine together, like you get a discount, and then they high five. Like it's the camaraderie that she's
Hmm.
experiencing with Twyla, and like the feeling like you have successfully come up with a really great idea, I think, is giving Alexis a lot of just pride in her work that she probably wouldn't have if she accepts this
Yeah.
random, so random, job from Claire. It's just, I love Alexis so much, and we obviously see a lot of growth for her over this whole season, but like specifically these last few episodes, I feel like huge strides are taken, and it's really easy to see how much she's grown and changed from season 1. So yeah, Claire can seriously F off and get out of this, "Oh, it's so random little town. Oh my god, it's so random." Like, get out of here. Oh my god, I like totally forgot you existed.
That's the
Oh,
worst. That's just like was it the pals from season 2? Like, the
yeah.
ones that turned up, like, the worst, like, forgetting that she existed. Because obviously, like, it's kinda outside, out of mind, and they just don't care about them, but, like, you're telling me you didn't even, like, think about them once? It's just and
Yeah,
where were
stop it.
you? Where were you the whole time? Just F off, go away.
Yeah.
You're the worst kind of people. But as a character in a sitcom, I am gonna laugh at absolutely everything
Well,
you
of
do because it's
course.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's ridiculous when she goes like, "Pack up, bitch, you're getting out." And then she does
Yeah.
like a whoosh, like everything she does is like so dramatic.
Mhm,
Um, yeah. But we have to get to the main event, the entree, if you will, of this episode, which is of course the baby sprinkle slash baby shower that David gets
mhm.
conned into throwing. Um, Stuart, would you like a chance to defend your girl? Because I know Jocelyn is like 8 months pregnant or something and hasn't slept and has Roland as a husband, which was her choice. But girl just totally conned David into throwing a baby shower for her.
David showed weakness and Jocelyn pounced. That's all I'm gonna say. Like that's the only justification I can say is that like if David was strong of will, he would have said no. But he didn't. He offered.
I also think he
She
didn't know
she
what he was
never
signing up for at all. Like,
well
he
yeah,
heard
I
a
mean
party
that's
needs to be planned and I will help.
yeah, I mean it's a combination of many things going wrong, is what I'm going to put it down to. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to lumber all the blame towards Jocelyn because I love her dearly. But yeah, I mean, if I really am pushed, Jocelyn was a bit of an arsehole in this situation
Yeah,
because
it's
you
unfair.
don't do this, right? You don't get someone to throw a party for you the same day, expect them to pay for it, and then complain about the way in which they go about
Yes.
planning it. Like,
I
come
think that's
on.
the biggest in my opinion, the biggest problem is the fact that, like, she's probably not paying for it. I think if you're hiring, which is what she's doing, hiring, like, a store, a company to put
Hmm.
on a party, you should be offering them some sort of money. I don't think, like, if he's signing on to do a last minute party, that's one thing, but offer to pay the man. And especially when Jocelyn knows David. She knows he doesn't understand baby showers. Like, do you really think this man has attended baby showers? I really don't think so. The fact that Patrick knows what a sprinkle is insane. Like, Stuart, did you know what a sprinkle was prior to this episode? Did you know that that existed?
No.
Good.
I
Cuz that
I
you know
didn't
what?
even know the etiquette of like I thought you had a baby shower for every baby. I didn't know that like
Oh no. And here's
there
where
were
I'm
different classifications of them, I guess.
yes.
Like what's the
Here's
deal?
here's the thing, people. I'm probably one gonna swear very soon. So like if you have children, just put them aside for now. And on top of that, I'm about to rant. So if you're like very pro baby shower and you love a baby shower, like now is your cue to leave. And I'm most specifically ranting about I'm gonna give you like the headlines of the amount of baby showers I've attended and the style of old school baby showers. I'm talking about your modern get-togethers. Talking about your old school baby showers. And I'm also going to get into the rant of how many different parties we must have to welcome a new human into this world because there's too many. So yeah, this is a sprinkle, which is considered a sprinkle because oh, it's not your first child, so seemingly most likely you maybe still have some stuff. I would argue that given the difference in the number of years between Jocelyn's 2 kids, she might as well have a full-blown shower because the idea of a sprinkle is, well, you've already had one, you're having another, you probably have a lot of supplies already. If you were
Mhm.
planning on having a second kid, usually you're keeping a lot of the same stuff.
Plus also, I mean, you kind of wanna ignore Mutt. You wanna treat this as the
I would
first,
love
right?
to
Mutt
ignore Mutt.
doesn't
Yeah.
count, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was the
Just
trial
gloss
and
over
error
it.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even need to
We
acknowledge him.
failed a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, so that is what a sprinkle is supposed to be. Now, my biggest problem with this entire endeavor is that we now, as a society, have considered that it is normal to not just have a baby shower, but also like a gender reveal party. And also, maybe there's a sprinkle in there. And also, and we know all you people out there with your little babies are going to be like, oh my God, the baby is one. Hooray. Oh my God, the baby is two. Hooray. Like it's a never ending cycle of parties for a thing, a human that has no idea what's going on, no idea what all at all. And so we are expected to shell out so much money in celebration of let's be real and say Jocelyn's accident, okay? This was an accident, pure and simple. In this specific case, this baby was not planned. I'm spending so much money on your mistake now at this point. Now, here's the thing. If you want to and it's very gendered is the other thing that I'm going to get on my high horse about. Why do I have to suffer through all of these nonsense parties and the men in the world who've arguably done worse offenses than women in general don't have to go to any of them. And I'm forced to play these stupid games. Yes, I know of the diaper game Jocelyn talks about. It's a real thing. It's a real thing that you melt chocolate into diapers and then eat it to figure out what it is. What is
That's
wrong with people?
horrendous. That is
There's another one where you're supposed to take a piece of yarn and guess how big mommy's belly is. That's offensive. That's really offensive. There's another game where you, like, guess the weight and the due date and all this other stuff. That one's, like, fine. 9 times out of 10, there's baby bingo. 9 times out of 10, the people who have had the children have advantages, inherent advantages in these games. Because you know all this new age garbage that you're buying for, like, expecting moms, I don't know what half that crap is. So you're telling me not only do I have to, against my will, go to a party, I have to bring a present, I have to schmooze and act like I'm excited about talking about babies, and I'm less likely to win the games? What am I here for? Like, truly, they're so stupid. I hate baby showers so much. I really do. They're not fun for, like, almost anyone. And we did have some really engaging discourse um in our community, Stuart, about baby showers and kind of what people like and dislike about them. And the vast majority of people agree watching people open presents isn't fun.
Mhm.
Why are
Have
we
you
still
ever
doing it?
I mean, even at someone's birthday party, like, it was never fun to watch someone open presents. So, like, I think most people, when they get to an age where you're not, like, a vanity-laden child, that you'll be like, "Oh, yeah, thank you for the present. I'll open them, like, kind of when we're done partying together and sharing in the atmosphere." Of, like, it's it's a weird thing to have an event that's centered around sitting down and watching someone open gifts, especially when you know that all the
Hours.
gifts are just gonna be fucking baby grows.
And it's all things that you've registered for, so you're not even, like, surprised. You know you're getting these items. Stop! And on top of that, it's okay, there's, like, oh, there's so many things. Okay, 2 other things I'm thinking about at this moment. I went to a shower where the idea was to wrap the item or not even wrap it at all in, like, something that is see-through because they weren't going to do the whole opening of the presents, but they still wanted to be able to, like, see and thank everyone and blah, blah, blah. And then they decided to open presents anyway, and we sat there for hours watching them open presents. Like,
Mhm.
truly a nightmare. The other thing, Stuart, are you aware of, like, the bow hats? Have you heard of the bow hats?
The bow hats?
So, and
No?
I do not know if I don't know if this is I never know if this is, like, a my family thing or if this is an everybody thing. I'm pretty sure it's an everybody thing. But usually and I don't know if this is baby and wedding showers or bridal showers, I mean, or if it's just one or the other, but you if there's ribbon on a gift that is wrapped, you're first of all, you're not supposed to cut it, which I don't know why, it's a thing. You're supposed to be able to get it off the present, and then you take a paper plate. I'm not joking. This is, like, totally the truth. I'm not trying to bullshit you. Take a paper plate, and you affix the ribbons to the plate, okay? Upside down. And, like, you staple them, I don't know what they do. You put them on there. And then after all the gifts have been opened, after we've been sitting there playing baby bingo for, like, an hour and a half, they affix said paper plate to mommy's head, and she is wearing a bow hat. It's a real thing. I'm
No.
gonna look this up right now.
No. No, that just this is the buffoonery that I just can't get on board with. I'm totally up for joining someone's celebration for someone having a milestone, which is having your first kid. Is it's a big thing. And I think is a reason for celebration. I think that you can do it in a way that is totally non-gendered in terms of like revealing said baby's gender or also inviting, friends of multiple genders to the event. Why it just has to be one is astounding to me. But also, you can do it without doing all this weird shit. Like, why
Yeah.
do you have to like wrap a present in a bow just to make a bow hat? That seems a little nuts to me.
It
Are you googling it
is
and finding
nuts.
nothing right now, Jess?
No, it's
Because like this
everywhere on
sounds
the internet.
absurd. Oh
Most
no.
people are saying, "What do I do with this after?" Throw it away! What do you
Yeah.
mean? You
What's
throw
it
it
contributing
out!
to keeping it? Yeah. Is
This is the
anyone going to
kinda
turn around and go, "Oh, do you still have your bow hat from your
this is
baby
the kinda
shower?"
sick
No.
shit I'm talking about. Also, there was also discourse about games. Now, listen, if there aren't games at your party, I simply do not want to attend because I'm there for the games, okay? I'm there for the games. But the biggest issue is, what are you giving out, right? What are the prizes, okay? Sometimes you get, like, a candle. If it's lavender, stop it. Sometimes you get, like, something nice, like a candle or something, but, friend of the pod, Adam, mentioned gift cards. Now, this is the move, okay? To give out
Mhm.
gift cards because everyone likes a gift card. If you were trying to give me away at either a bridal or a baby shower, the centerpiece in the tape, F all the way off with that garbage. Like, I don't want, you're just trying to get people to take the crap so you don't have to clean it up. Stop it with that centerpiece nonsense, all right? No one wants your centerpiece. I have such strong feelings on this, and I'm allowed to because I have been to at least 30 baby showers in my lifetime, and every single one, I had to buy a gift, I had to attend, I had to act like I wanna be there. Also, the other thing is 9 times out of 10, Stuart, I don't know again if this is just my family, if this is the norm, 9 times out of 10, they take place at around, like, a brunchy time on, like, a
Mhm.
Saturday or a Sunday, so you're also eating into my weekend here, like, truly and honestly. I don't like babies, okay? Like, I am David when he says, "This is why I effing hate babies."
Mhm.
Because we're starting off on the wrong foot by me having to, like, go to this frickin' party to begin with and act like I'm like, "Oh, yay, unborn baby, hooray."
It's a heated topic, and you know that virtue like you know that immediately by the fact that they drop multiple f bombs in this episode, because it's warranted. I think the anger is
Mhm.
absolutely warranted. I do think like the best gift you can give is some form of gift card. So like when friends of mine they threw a baby shower which I was invited to, we gifted like Uber Eats vouchers for them because we were like we got into the mindset. We were like, okay, you're early 30s, you've just had your first kid and you live in like central London. Are you going to need a baby grow that it's going to grow out of in a week? No, you're going to be tired, exhausted, and you're not going to want to cook. You're going to want to order like
Mhm.
Domino's. There you go. Order whatever you like and stuff. And it's the only gift I've ever given for a baby shower that I've had a text message after it's been used and gone, "Thank you for this. We really needed it." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Wonderful."
nailed it.
So, like,
Yeah.
I think that's the best way in which you can go about it.
Well, there's also, like, weird diaper cakes, right? That's a
Ugh,
thing. There's a new thing where instead, which I actually agree with this new thing where instead of bringing a card, you bring a children's book because cards just get thrown away, but at least
yeah.
if there's a children's book, theoretically your kid can read or you can read to it, whatever, who cares? There's new agey things that I like, and we'll get into this more in the feedback section of the podcast because we did get some people being like, "Don't hate me. I'm having a baby shower." Listen, I don't hate you. Society
No.
dictates you must have a baby shower. If you're gonna do it, if you're getting the familial pressure to do it, at least make it cool and fun. Don't make
That's
it
the
stuffy and just for women that are forced to act like having ovaries just automatically makes you like having being at a baby shower because this is not the case. Babies are like loud and they poop and they do nothing else to contribute to anything. I don't like babies and therefore I don't like baby clothes and baby things and, "Oh, look at this cute little thing that was a tubie," and we suck out baby snot with it. Like, that's
ugh,
disgusting. Like, it's
no.
so gross. Why?
It's there with most things that come with like societal expectation. There are things you can accept and there are things you can reject. And I think you should accept the things that make sense for you and you should reject the things that you are
Yes.
obligated to do because society tells you to do it. Do what you want to do, have fun. If you like the old like stuff that is expected of you, by all means, knock yourself out with it. Just
Yeah.
don't necessarily invite me to it.
Exactly. Don't expect me to be having a good time. Now, if you're gonna have a baby piñata that we can whack with a stick, I think
I
I'll be
mean,
there for
that
that.
I honestly okay. We're going a bit all over the place. What with the schedule here? I kind of want to put Ronan in for MVP for that because it was
With
so
the baby
good.
piñata.
It's a great idea. It was an
And he got it for
ugly
free.
pinata, but he got it for free from the dollar store. Like, I mean, good on Roland. He's trying
I
to
love
really
that for
help.
him.
He's
Yeah.
scrambling to help Jocelyn out here. Plus, like, I think it accommodates multiple things. It provides entertainment for the baby shower, but also if you don't like babies and you're being brought to a baby shower, take out your aggression on the pinata.
I'm totally
Win-win.
with you. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
totally with you. At least Jocelyn and Roland's baby shower, again, it wasn't like women only, right? Like we had a
Mhm.
whole bunch of people there. David came up with like a really fun party game of mommy needs her sleeping pills. Let's chuck them in mommy's mouth. Now, do I want people's hands touching an item that is then aimed at my mouth? No, I really don't. But
No.
this is Schitt's Creek and this is Jocelyn and Roland. And The other thing I need to know, and the reason why one of the reasons why, Roland would not get my MVP this episode is because I was wearing headphones while watching this episode most recently, and when him and Johnny are standing next to each other, like, getting ready to throw the mints at Jocelyn, Roland is chewing with his mouth open so vigorously that it was all I could hear.
He does it all the time.
It's the
Like,
worst.
if Roland did not have his eating habits, he would be so much more tolerable as a character, I swear to God.
Yeah, it's so bad. He does like the
Mm.
soft cheese tray, which David does end up bringing, and I like that it's a gift. Whoever, wins the game of throwing pills in Jocelyn's mouth gets to bring home the remainder of the soft cheeses.
And it's a game that Jocelyn can't win, so it alleviates the whole thing of the pregnant person, like, taking
Yes!
the soft cheese, but they can't have, apparently.
Beautiful. Mwah. I don't listen, don't ask me what pregnant people can consume because it changes all the time and I can't keep track and I don't need to keep track.
Yeah.
They should know
It's
what they can't
you're the
eat.
one that's pregnant. You tell me what you can't eat.
I think it's
I'll
fine
eat
to
it
have
for
a
you.
soft cheeses tray for the remainder of the guests. Like, just because mommy can't
Yeah.
eat them doesn't mean the rest of the party goers don't wanna have alcohol.
Well, this is why, like, a baby shower that I was invited to was held in a freaking pub. I was like, "Fantastic,
Well,
get my
also
drink
because 'cause you're
on."
in Britain that it was,
Well, yeah,
slightly
everything's
different.
in the pub, yeah. If we go
Exactly.
outside, it's to the pub.
Yeah. Uh, no, David did a great job. I think David did a wonderful job at working with what he was given,
Yeah.
and
The
nixing the baby poop diaper game. 10 out of 10, David. Love that. Thank you so
yeah.
much for saving us all from that horror show.
The only I think just the worst thing though is just the colliding of worlds of David and Patrick and then Jocelyn and Roland, because they're just two worlds that you just don't get to mix all too often. And it kind of led to Patrick having probably the most awkward thing ever of just suggesting that Jocelyn gets ready and she's like, I
I
am
am
ready.
ready.
Oh,
Whoops.
I wanted to crawl inside myself. That was so horrible to witness. Oh.
It's so good. It's so good. I love the one-two punch of David and Patrick working together on this because Patrick has the know-how of, like, he
Mhm.
seemingly knows what baby showers are about, and David
Yeah,
has the party planning capabilities, you know? Ultimately, it seems like it went off without a hitch, like, people seem to be having a really great time,
yeah.
and, considering it was very last minute and at Jocelyn's house on a Friday night anyway, like, the last thing I wanna do on a Friday night, it's fine, it's whatever. It seemed to go well, so good for David.
What's the game that they play in lunch? I'm just thinking, if it's Fridays, don't they play the strip version of that game every
Oh,
lunchtime?
cribbage or whatever?
Cribbage, strip
Strip crib
cribbage. So, like, they've forgone that for this party, which, I mean, like, fair play to them. Like,
Jocelyn isn't even sleeping. So, like, seriously, how is she I don't even know if at 8 months pregnant you can, like, remove your socks and shoes alone. Like, truly, she probably needs assistance. And this isn't like a
uh,
judgment. This is like a literal physical, how is she doing that?
I mean, combine that with the fact that she's over 30 as well. I mean, I'm struggling. Over 30.
So, yeah, that's the whole baby shower of it all. Again, I just and the thing okay, one other thing before we, like, go
Mhm.
into feedback and we can probably talk about this even more. If you're gonna do a gender reveal, just don't set the forest on fire, okay? The world is
Yeah.
already burning. Like, let's keep it low key. Let's just calm ourselves and also remember that gender is a construct.
Yes, it's ridiculous. To go on about the one and only baby shower that I was invited to, the best
Yes.
inadvertent gender reveal ever was they had a cake, they cut into it, and it was a rainbow cake. And when they did,
Mm.
the mother to be was like, "It's a gay." Funniest gender reveal that wasn't actually
Yeah.
meant to be a gender reveal ever. They should all just be like that. Just, don't project
1000%.
gender, sexualities, expectations onto kids. Just don't do
Yeah.
it.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop with your pink and blue nonsense. Anyway. Okay. Let's talk through some feedback we got. We a lot of chatter about the baby shower stuff of it all. Aaron wrote in, okay, Stuart, I know you love Jocelyn, but she could be very manipulative. What do you have to say for yourself, Stuart?
Uh, Pregnant Jocelyn is not regular Jocelyn. Just how
You're not you when you're
election
pregnant.
yeah, just how election Jocelyn is not, like regular
Yeah.
Jocelyn. everyone can be a monster now and then. I'm gonna give
Mm,
her this allowance. I mean, I
okay.
feel like I'm allowed.
She's struggling. She's struggling.
Yeah.
Um, Aaron also continued, "Okay, I'm gonna have a baby shower, but Jess, hear me out. I'm listening, Aaron. I'm listening. I also hate baby showers." You got me right away, Aaron. So much. They're the worst of the life event parties. I totally agree with that, by the way. Baby showers, absolute worst. But just I am 41 years old and I have spent at least well, although this is definitely a made up number. Okay. I was like, did you calculate this? 4,689,400. Oh, wait, was that even more than
No,
4 billion?
4,689,421,568 dollars.
It's a very specific number, Aaron, and I'd like to
Really
know how you'd arrived at
specific.
it.
I'd like to see
Celebrating
that spreadsheet.
celebrating all my friends and family's weddings and babies. I think I've earned some onesies for my baby. You will hear no backlash from me. You
No.
1000% have earned onesies for your baby. Also, it's going to be men and women, and there will be no games. Like, let's just
Oh,
have a barbecue and celebrate a cool thing that's happening. So that's me and my baby shower.
okay, yeah. Lost me on the no games, won me back on the barbecue and hanging out with your friends, which
Yes.
is yeah, like I've been saying, you do
Throw
you.
in like cornhole, throw in, and I'm not saying you have to have games with winners, right? Throw in an activity or two, and you got me in attendance. If it's a barbecue and you've got like your cornhole, your horseshoes, I don't know, like anything like that, I'll be there. I'll be there with bells on.
Channel the finish. So I went to a wedding in Finland and we
Wow, what a
got
brag.
uh, wow, what a
Oh, it's
brag,
nothing for
European.
me. I'm in Europe.
This is like you saying, "Oh yeah, I went to the next state over to for a wedding." It's like the distance is not actually that
It's
dramatic.
less cool though.
Maybe. But, yeah, we got distracted, for, like, a full hour because we discovered in the place that they, had, like, were hosting the wedding, they had this game, it was called Molky, and it's, like, all these little, stubs of wood with all different numbers on, and you get,
I've
like, a
seen
big
this
stub of wood,
game.
and you, like, throw it at it from a distance, and your
Yes.
idea is you have to knock over the numbers, like, get points and stuff like that. We
Yes.
fully took like an hour break from this wedding celebration to all play this game, and we were obsessed with it to the point where a load of us tourists bought versions of it and then flew it back home with us.
Incredible. Yes. Any sort of that game, ladder ball, bocce ball, any
Mhm.
sort of outdoor game like that is always going to be a hit. And you're going to have people who, like, I don't really want to socialize. It's a little awkward. They can go play a game. Highly recommend barbecue. I'm there. Like, give me a
Yeah,
burger.
can't
I'm
go wrong with a
so
barbecue.
happy. Yeah. Especially
Yeah.
because barbecue generally indicates also having alcohol. So, big fan.
Mhm.
Um, Nick Now, Nick started off on the wrong foot because Nick said, "I'm having 2 baby showers," or me and my wife are having 2 baby showers. And I was like, "Nick, what are we doing here?" But then he went on. He went on. I forgot to add my actual contribution to the baby shower sprinkle discourse. My wife's family is throwing her a more traditional shower back in her hometown, mostly for family and childhood friends. But at least it's at a brewery, so that's fun. Perhaps ill suited for a pregnant person, as Patrick points out in the episode. Not at all, it's ill suited. I think this
It's
makes
fine.
sense. Then for our friends here in the New York City area where we live, we're having a baby blizzard. It's like a shower, but it's chill.
Amazing.
Now I love this, and I'll tell you why, Nick, because families do be pressuring you to do the traditional things, especially if you're not in the same vicinity as them anymore, right? Like, I think if she's going to her hometown, makes sense. She'd probably have more of a traditional shower. Dear God, I hope your poor pregnant wife does not have to wear a ribbon hat. I truly, she's in my thoughts right now. Okay. Please do not make that poor woman wear a ribbon hat. Unless she wants to, whatever. I think the idea of a baby blizzard where it's just like a chill hangout with friends, iconic. I love that for
Wonderful.
both of you. I think you get the best of both worlds, especially if you're kind of being forced to do one of them. Because at least you're going to walk away with some gifts and you fulfilled the obligation, right?
Yeah. I think it's the best way you go about it. You fulfill the obligation. Also, you don't get the weird Venn diagrams of like two social circles mixing, which I
Yeah.
think in a wedding is a much different vibe because everyone's
Yeah.
there for like an actual party. So everyone is like geared up.
Drinking.
Whereas,
Yeah.
like, I think with baby showers, you have a weird mixture of people who are perhaps younger, who like your friends, who are perhaps wanting it to be more of a party, and then you have your relatives who are perhaps older, much more expecting the old traditional, and it's
Mhm.
like those two social circles kind of like butting heads. Certainly keeping them separate, I think, is a
Mhm.
great way to do it, and especially yeah, Baby Blizzard. I mean, I'm not gonna ever
Reminds
quibble
me of Dairy
about that.
Queen. Sounds great. Do you have Dairy
Dairy
Queen?
Queen? What?
Okay, you don't have Dairy Queen.
We don't have Dairy Queen. I've heard about it. Is it
Dairy
a
Queen is like an
restaurant?
ice cream it's like an ice cream place, and they sell a thing called a Blizzard. And what a Blizzard
Oh,
is kind of like a milkshake, but thicker. And you mix it in. So you put like you pick your mix in. So you have like vanilla ice cream. Oh, I want some Reese's cups. I want some M&Ms, whatever. You mix that stuff up. And the brilliant part about a Blizzard is I'm trying to find a prop here so that I could show you. The brilliant part about a Blizzard is if you're watching us on YouTube, they when they hand it to you, I'm using my water bottle as an example. When they hand it to you, they flip it upside down first and then they go like this and it's to show that ice cream, it ain't budging. You go whoop,
it's thick.
it's thick. She
Right.
thick. Yeah, that's a
And
Dairy Queen Blizzard.
right. I totally lost why we got. Oh my
We're talking
gosh.
about baby blizzards, and baby blizzard reminds me of a Dairy Queen Blizzard, which I loved as a kid, and I still do love because I'm human. So
Amazing. I mean, get a Blizzard. That would be an amazing addition to it. Not gonna quibble.
have ice cream at your baby blizzard.
Yeah.
Um, anything else before we jump into some ratings here?
No, I'm eager to kind of put some people on some ratings here. I got some
Yeah.
thoughts.
Okay. Simply the best this week. The MVP of the episode. I feel like it's a little tough
Yeah.
because I think there are, in my opinion, two primary options here. And I guess I'll talk through them a little bit. We have David and we have Alexis, I think is where I
Mhm.
ultimately come up, right? David, who's throwing a last minute party for someone and he hates babies. So it really is like difficult for him. And Alexis, who really makes like a very mature, it's much more of a warm, fuzzy point if you give it to Alexis. It's like she's really making the right decision to stay in town. And here's the thing I love Alexis. I've given her a lot of points this season. But, like, truly, David being the one to have to throw a baby shower, like, I have to give him so much credit because he hates babies, as do I, and he is voluntarily involving himself in a major process and a party throwing thing and having to come up with games and having to talk Jocelyn out of a baby diaper game. Like, thank God we didn't have to see melted chocolate in baby diapers. So, David is getting my point this episode.
It's a fair assessment. I was kind of a similar mindset. Is that there are two, I think, very obvious candidates. I'm not gonna lie, I really am considering giving it to Roland for the pinata because I think it was a really inspired choice. And
Oh,
then just for
no.
comedy, I want to throw in Kleb because she did offer Alexis a job and a
How
place to stay.
absolutely dare you? The audacity of you as a human being right now.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a really tough one because I completely agree with you that like David, he did a really he was strong armed into it, but he did a selfless thing and he did throw someone a baby
Mhm.
shower at the very last minute. Um, but I can't not give it to Alexis just for that moment of her looking around the motel and just having the bit of
It's
the
very
warm
sweet.
fuzzies for it. I was like, yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, listen, it was really tough between David and Alexis. I just
Hmm.
had to go with David because, like, truly, he is me, I am him. We just connect in that way.
Yeah,
Let's move on to the disgruntled pelican point. And this also is a little tricky because we've always
yeah,
said that we don't want to give it to a person that we probably won't see again. There is precedent. We have given it to Bev and Don Taylor because they sucked so much. We've given it to
supremely.
Tallahassee because she was the worst. Like, there are people we've given it to who suck. Darlene's cousin,
Oh my
Miguel.
gosh, yeah.
Miguel. There are people we've done this for. I do think there is an argument to be made for Jocelyn to get it because of the hoodwinking and manipulation. However,
You're running a
As
risk there, Jess. Even
as
saying Jocelyn.
no, as a member of, the Capital Region in New York, as a person who lives upstate, the fact that Claire cannot pronounce Albany and is just the worst human being, I feel like she is on the level of a Ben and Don Taylor in that she has so earned a disgruntled pelican point. I really cannot give it to anyone else, especially when I consider the fact that Jocelyn is married to Roland, like 8 or 9 months pregnant. Her sister's husband has a heart event and like she is forced to deal with her own baby shower like cuz Roland is simply incapable. I feel for her in that way. So I'm not going to give her a disgruntled pelican point, but Claire with a K, you on my shit list.
Wow. Wow. I
That's right.
mean,
Oh, shit
choice.
list. That's funny. I see it. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
We're 4 seasons in, and it's only just arrived at you that we can make a joke of the word shit. This is outrageous. Um,
You're
for
welcome,
my
everyone.
for
I'll
my
be here all week.
LVP, I
No.
mean, Claire's the obvious choice. I think is like I think that instinctively who I should go with. Jocelyn is a contender. As much as a joke about it,
Mhm.
like she has to be for the way in which she was strong on. But like, she's got baby brain. She's been kept up until like 2 a.m. because of the baby doing gymnastics. So I don't think it's necessarily her fault. Um, I I think there's a case to give it to Patrick for the comment to
Why?
Jocelyn because
How
it was
dare you? He
it was that egregious. I'm sorry.
I can't wait for all the Patrick lovers to come out and
I mean,
fight you
I'm
about
just
this.
saying there's a case to give it to him for that one comment because it was that bad. It's
Mhm.
just a faux pas you just don't do. But I mean, how can you not give it to Claire? It's got to be Claire.
Thank you.
She is the absolute
She's the
worst.
worst. I'm
Yeah,
the worst. She even says it. I know I'm the worst. You are.
yeah.
You
And
are, Claire.
I think that like as much as like we try to like give it to the main like kind of cast and like recurring kind of characters that we see, I think it's justified. But I think also she had a more profound impact of being an asshole than
It's true.
the intimacy facilitator
True.
lady,
If
whose
she was
name is
nicer,
yeah.
Alexis may leave town.
In which case, she would have earned it either way. Because I don't like if
Yes.
she'd been nicer, she would have
Yes.
earned it for taking away Alexis from
Yes,
us.
this is true.
So
This
yeah,
is true. No, I like where we arrived. Also, one other thing about Dan Levy specifically and David in this episode is the physical comedy was killing me. The oh no. When he
I
finds out
can't
about staying up all night.
believe I've been seeing and using that GIF for years now, and I didn't
Mhm.
realize that was the context of what it was of just him just being
Yeah.
really sarcastic
Yeah.
to
Oh no.
Jocelyn.
And the other one when they're talking about the baby diaper game and he goes, "Question," like hand
Yeah.
all the way up. Like he's everything
Hmm.
this episode. So
Yeah.
yeah. No, I love that. I love where we landed here. Claire is truly the worst and she can leave and never come back. Let's tier rank this episode. Baby Sprinkle season 4, episode 10. Stuart, do you have any inclination as to where you would like to put this? We have hot shit, full bouquet, love that journey for me, you, David, and shit out of luck.
I was instinctually thinking kind of high, love that journey for me, low. Yeah, like God, losing tier list. A low full bouquet,
Mhm.
potentially. I think it's like around that kind of area, which I know a lot of the episodes kind of have been. I think that this was it's so tough when we get to this because I always think of like Love That Jenny for me as being like a good average
It's
episode.
average,
I
yeah,
think
solid.
yeah, and if I think of the average based on like previous seasons, I certainly think it's above previous seasons episodes. So should it be in full bouquet? But then I don't think it's as funny as Asbestos Fest or the Jazz Guide. Like I think those have like particular moments. So I'm thinking like
Mm.
lower end of that, but I can be swayed.
I love this episode.
Oh
I
really?
love this episode because of the baby sprinkle, the amount of times that I have seen TikToks using the sound of, "Oh, a baby sprinkle. What is that? Oh, well, it's like a sprinkle. It's like a shower, but less. It's your second baby." That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Like, I've seen that TikToks used so many times, and I love David's attitude about the entire thing. I think if, again, I'm taking the episode into 3 storylines, Baby Sprinkle, I think, is hysterical. I think then
Mhm.
you have the Alexis stuff, which is very heartwarming, so you do have a nice blend
Yeah.
there. And then the Moira and Johnny stuff is, like, fine. Like, it's not offensive, it's not it's average. I would put the Moira and Johnny of it all in the Love That Journey for me. Like, it's fine.
I no, actually, no. On reflection, actually, the Moira and Johnny is a lot funnier than I actually think back on. Like, just the
Mhm.
visual comedy of like Johnny in the conversation and the
The
linking
key.
of the keys is just it's such a stupid small little like
Yeah.
visual gag.
And
And then
Madly.
Moira, oh yeah, Madly,
Madly.
yeah. Actually, I think I'm
Because so
beginning
that
to
if
fancy
we're
it. Yeah, get out.
thinking if I would put because this is if I'm breaking it down into 3 storylines, I'm putting the David storyline in hot shit. I'm putting the Alexis storyline probably in the full bouquet, like higher end of full bouquet or so, and then the Moira and Johnny at lower end of full bouquet or like high love that journey for me. So I feel like on average, I would probably end up putting Baby Sprinkle somewhere in the center of like full bouquet.
See, I was gonna say the David like bet top end of full bouquet.
Mhm.
Moira and Johnny top end of full bouquet, and I realized I'm going against what I've said previously
Yeah.
just now. And I think on the Alexis thing, kind of like middle of the road full bouquet. So I think actually it's probably an argument for it to be top of full bouquet.
I'm thinking because the olive branch is the one with David doing the lip syncing. So is
Mm,
is the Alexa stuff more heartwarming than that? I would argue maybe not. I think that I prefer the David, but I love David and Patrick, so I'm such a simp for them. I love them
but I
so
think
much.
David and Patrick they get more of a moment with open mic, right? Like that's the
That's
lip
the
sync.
moment. So do we
Like
want to
that,
put
not the
Baby
lip sync. That's the
Sprinkle
moment. I think like
second?
edging just a bit above it. Yeah,
Yeah. I like
yeah.
that. I think it earns this spot. Like it's so good. It's so funny. David throwing a baby shower will never not be funny. It is so
Hmm.
hysterical. Like, it's the way in which it all goes down. It's also a very tight episode. I feel like there's not really any wasted time, in it. So, yeah, I really like Baby Sprinkle. I think it's very fun. And, of course, it allowed me to rant about baby showers, which I simply love doing, as evidenced by everyone saying, "You've definitely had this conversation before," and me saying, "I'm sure I have."
Yeah,
And
we
it
had
was
this
not that long
conversation.
ago.
Yeah, we had the conversation a couple of episodes back. Then we had it again last week. Then we had a
Yeah.
conversation after we stopped recording, and then we had this conversation. Yeah,
The problem
please tell me
is
there's no more baby showers.
the problem is when you podcast so much, it's all just like once the podcast is over, it's out of my brain and I don't remember anything I've said. It's a fever dream.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
it's like I said before.
yeah,
I think you went to a fugue state with your podcast. It's like you just kind of
definitely.
you go on autopilot sometimes. You say some stuff, which is why I tend to just change my opinion on what I say when it comes to rankings at the job for that.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the episode title for next week. Season 4,
Mm.
episode 11, the penultimate, I guess, because there's a special this season. I don't know how it works. Anti-penultimate, I suppose. Season 4, episode 11, the rollout.
The rollout. Alexis's new
Mhm.
business? Like, oh no, the singles night thing? Are they rolling that out? Like singles week? Is it that?
Mm.
I don't know.
We'll have to find out next week. As always, you know where to find us, talking shit everywhere if you want to send us in any feedback. So I think that's about it, Stuart, unless you have anything else you would like to add.
No, just the usual. Obviously, if you are looking for something a lot more bleak to watch at the moment, The Last of Us season 2 is going to be coming out April 13th. We're covering it over on Look for the Light. We're covering season 1. We're recapping all of that. And then we've got a couple of weeks in between where we're going to be recapping the second Last of Us game. We're going to be talking about like trailer and like all the photos, and we're going to be like doing a bit of season 2 speculation. So head over to Look for the Light pod if you want to check that out, where you can hear me and Jess talk about really emotional and really heart wrenching storylines, which is
Mhm.
the polar opposite of this show. So yeah, check
Yes.
that out.
Incredible. Okay, well, we will return next week with season 4, episode 11. And until then, everyone, warmest regards.
And best wishes.
Tweet us on Facebook or leave us a review, and you say, yeah, okay, I think I will.